Welcome back to Duplex the Dream House. I'm Bree.
And I'm Garrett.
And we are on episode number 7. In this video, we'll be installing all the small windows.
That's right. We'll be able to stand inside and look outside.
This is true.
But unfortunately, one of our big windows, of course the one in the front, it came damaged. They didn't secure it on the truck well enough, and during transport, one window rubbed against another one and wore off the finish.
So we're waiting for it to come, and once it arrives, we will have a part 2 to this episode.
That's right, big window edition.
Alrighty, on to the video.
Welcome back. Today we are installing windows, but first we need to build the box.
If you're anything like me and wondering what the heck is a buck, because I asked Garrett that 5 times, it is the exterior framing on where the windows will be installed. The reason why we have to add these bucks onto the exterior is because we will be adding exterior insulation to increase the R value of our house and make it super energy efficient.
First step, cutting them to size. Step 2, ripping them in half. I'm ripping a 2x6 directly in the middle into 2 3/4 inches. Step 3, plane the bottom piece so that it slopes outside in case there's any moisture. Here you can see me ensuring that there is the proper slope on this. And here's a better view. Step 4, fasten the pieces together using a nail gun. Step 5, measure and mark the pre-drills for the screws.
These screw holes will be how it is attached to the exterior. Because the windows will be on top of this frame, we are actually going to be using 5-inch GRKs to make sure that it's super solid and the windows do not go anywhere.
Step 6, driller. Here you can see the buck is mounted and I'm taping it to ensure it's sealed. This is part of the air barrier system, so everything's all tightly sealed with these membrane tapes.
A membrane tape is an adhesive tape that is designed to seal and protect the areas to make sure that it's waterproof and airtight.
I decided to use 2 different tapes in this situation. There's the 3M tape, which is pretty utilitarian, and then there's this Tyvek tape. It actually flexes around the corners because that's always a weak spot, and normally if you're to use the 3M tape, you'd have to do multiple layers, where the Tyvek tape, you can just wrap it around and it's sealed guaranteed.
Here you can see Planter Guy using a roller to get all the air bubbles out to make sure it's nice and tight.
It's one thing to use these tapes, but if you don't roll them, most of the time you might as well not use them as they're not getting fully adhered. Now that the sill is protected, it's time to put some exterior silicone on the buck. This will seal the buck to the nail flange.
The nail flange is the exterior plastic that is on the outside of the window that gets screwed into the buck. And here comes the window. Planter Guy is passing it through the hole here so Garrett can grab it on the outside on the scaffolding.
This is the front bedroom window, so we are about 15 feet up off the ground here. That's why we're putting it through the window and into the opening.
All of our windows have black on the exterior but white on the interior.
I took out the sash to make it lighter. That's the operating portion of a window. Once it's in place, you have to measure, make sure it's centered in the opening, and then you can level it off. As you can see, Garrett's making some minor adjustments to make sure it's centered and level. It's always important to verify that the window is level in multiple places. I would recommend using a larger level, but this is what I did here, and it works because I level it everywhere. I don't just put it in one spot.
Tacker.
Now it's time to screw it in. I prefer to use GRK flathead screws. That way it's nice and flat for the finish to go on top. Once tacked in, it's always important to check again for level. Once you've established level, now you need to square off the window. So you want to make sure that the measurement's the exact same corner to corner from one side to another.
Once she's squared, you're ready to screw in all the rest of the screws to make sure she's nice and stable.
Now that everything's screwed off, it's time to put the sash back in. This was the first window of the day, so it took a little bit to get it figured out. There's 2 channels to slide in, but the clips have to be perfect in order to slide in, and that's what we were fighting with a little bit here. There are a couple different ways to cut out windows. Normally I use a router, but in this instance, there's 3/4 sheathing and then a 1/2 inch sheathing. So the router bit, that's just a little bit too much for her. So I'm using the Sawzall.
And here it comes down in 3, 2, 1.
Is good. Check out that southern sun. On to the next. This window I'll be routering out as it's only half inch sheathing.
After the full install of the first window, you can see that we've kind of done bits and pieces of footage for the rest of the windows.
And here is a better video of a buck being mounted. The most important step to installing the buck is making sure it's all perfectly level, because that's what the window is going to be sitting on. And once it is perfectly level, we can fasten it off. Here you can see me installing 5-inch GRKs. This is a structural screw to ensure the window's not going anywhere. And onto the tapes. You always want to start at the very bottom and work your way up with tapes. That way it's positively lapped and water trickles down.
Here is that Tyvek Flex wrap tape that Garrett was installing on the previous window. This will also get installed in the same area right on the windowsill. Again, you have to make sure that this is nice and tight and flat so it keeps all the moisture out.
This window was a little interesting to install as it's 9-foot ceilings and it's pretty tall. So my dad had to lift it up quite a ways. That's why I was so hunched over there. This is going to be a transom window that lets the southern sun in. Picture windows are always a little easier to install as they stay square, as there's no operating feature.
On our house, we are only installing picture windows and casement windows. Casements do have openings where you can let air in, whereas picture windows have no openings.
Unfortunately, I didn't get it on video, but I did go and tape after the window was installed, the two sides and the top. That way, again, there's a positive lap for water.
And here is the final look. As you can see, we're still missing our front window and our back window, as previously mentioned in the intro. We will be replacing the front door as well. So right now it looks a little awkward, but this is what it looks like from the inside. As you can see, we have tons more light, which is keeping our motivation high to continue working on the house.
Well, hope you liked the video today.
If you do enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, or comment. We are on a goal to reach 50 subscribers. At the time of putting the video together, we were at about 40. So yeah, help us hit our goal.
Catch ya on the flippity flip.